How you doing? Today, I'm going to show you this, the JHS Lucky Cat. It is a delay pedal, and I'm going to be examining some riffs that were the most influential and impactful on me as I was learning to play the guitar. And I'm going to talk about the delay settings used so you can not only learn these songs if you want to, but use it in your own compositions if you'd like to create your own similar sounding music, but with your own ideas, of course. This is a really versatile delay pedal, and I'm about to demonstrate why that is true. So this first song is called Circles, and it's by Joe Satriani. It was probably one of the first songs that I learned of Joe Satriani's because I was just so obsessed with this. This is the intro part. It goes into this crazy, otherworldly, distorted part afterwards, but this clean part I'm about to show you is probably the best riff Joe Satriani has ever written. So the key to this delay setting is definitely in the darker, more analog tape vibe. So I have the bottom mod selected, mod 1, which is more of a subtle sort of sound, as well as the darken knob turned pretty much to 9 o'clock, so that way the delays are not necessarily mirrored. They're a bit darker, as you would imagine, and a little bit more sort of covered up, so they offer that more lo-fi sound. Also, as you can see here on the side of the pedal, you can either switch the delay type to a digital clean delay or vintage tape delay. I have that vintage tape setting on. On top of this, I would say the ratio, which is the delay amount, is about at a dotted eighth note. It's just in between that eighth note and quarter note, as you can see. The time, I would say, is around 135 or 140 BPM. You can tell by that flashing tap tempo about what it is. If you want to sync up your delay, I'll play a chord for you and you can try and match it. All right, the next riff is definitely one you've heard before. It's Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. It's probably the most iconic intro that uses the delay effect, I think, in classic rock. So I'm going to examine what it is about this because I think there's actually a specific way to achieve this sound with the delay that may or may not have been an accident when they were recording it in the studio. For this setting, I have the darken a little bit more towards the center, so it's not necessarily a completely transparent delay, but it's also not super analog tape style. And with that in mind, I also have the mod switch bypassed, so it's set in the middle. And the mix is actually really low, and the reason for that is because I have this delay running in front of my amp, so it's not through the effects loop, it's actually in front of the amp, which has a crunch setting on it. So if you know anything about delay, or if you've experimented with delay, you know when you put a delay in front of an amp overdrive or an amp distortion, it tends to be a lot more washy and kind of messy and muddy. And to me, it really accomplishes that slash effect of the beginning of Welcome to the Jungle. It's not necessarily a straight up analog delay. It's more of a washy, kind of a mistake, maybe you could call it. They put the delay in front of the amp and just didn't care, and it sounded good. So here's the delay settings if you want to try and match up. last piece of music that I'm going to show you, which is probably the most fun you can have with a delay. And it's not actually a song that I'm going to be playing, but it's the effect that guitar players like The Edge from U2 and Paul Gilbert and Buckethead have all utilized this delay sound in their playing. You're going to recognize exactly what I'm talking about right away. Now usually a delay setting like this is going to be very much dependent on completely non-messed up repeats. In other words, I have the darken knob pretty much all the way to the right, which means the delay will be mirrored as it is. It's not going to be warbly at all. However, I'm going to go against exactly what I just said because I have the mod 2 selected, so it actually does give a kind of warbly sound, but when we have the tempo at a speed that is sort of not letting the mod completely take effect, I think it is a really unique aspect of this pedal. So when I play chords, of course, you're going to hear that mod 2 sound, that really warbly tape effect, but it also gives a really neat aesthetic to this otherwise very crisp and precise technique. You're going to want a fair amount of repeats, but you're also going to want a very quick tempo. So as you can see, it's probably up there in the 170-ish range as far as the BPM, and you can match up with this. Well, there you have it. Some awesome delay effects, all courtesy of the Lucky Cat from JHS. So check it out if you're interested, if you like the sounds that you heard. And until next time, keep shredding.